Penguin's Big Adventure by Salina, Yoon. One day, Penguin had a big idea. He wanted to do something no penguin had ever done. He wanted to be the first penguin ever to set foot on the North Pole. Did you know, boys and girls, penguins are from the South Pole? Oh, and they also live below the equator, on continents below the equator. It is 12,436 miles away. Penguin planned and packed. He rolled up his adventure map and set off. But before his first mile, Penguin saw Emily sewing. There's his friend Emily. "This looks like a very nice quilt," said Penguin, "and the brightest I have ever seen." Before Penguin reached his second mile, he saw his little brother, Pumpkin. Pumpkin was weaving. "That is a fine basket, Pumpkin," said Penguin, "and the biggest I've ever seen." Right before his third mile, he saw Bootsy braiding the longest rope he'd ever seen. So he walks up to Bootsy and he says, "Can I help?" And Bootsy says, "I don't want to tie you up, Penguin. You have so far to go." Then Penguin set off for the other side of the world, while his busy friends worked on their own world records. Penguin passed through his favorite places and visited with old friends. There's Pinecone, Cowabunga, our friend the knitting penguin. Look, he had other birds that he's visiting, and then the whale. He rode on the whale's back. He said, "Wee." He had a whale of a time. He liked visiting his friends. Finally, Penguin reached the North Pole. Penguin threw confetti. He turned cartwheels and planted a sign. His sign said Penguin was here. Penguin shouted, "Hooray!" and it echoed across the ice. He said, "Hooray!" and then the echo came back, "Hooray! Hooray!" Nobody answered. Just the echo. Penguin was suddenly lonely and afraid. But he was not alone. Oh, look. He says, and the polar bear says, "Oh." So together they came out with, "Uh-oh." Penguin had never seen a polar bear, and polar bear had never seen a penguin. It was scary because they lived on opposite ends of the world. Polar bear lived at the top at the North Pole, and penguin lived at the bottom at the South Pole. So they had ideas of what the other one was like. Penguin and polar bear smiled, and it wasn't scary anymore. He says, "Do you wear a black belt?" And Penguin says, "No, I wear an orange scarf." Penguin says, "Do you have big, sharp teeth?" And he said, "Well, no, but one might be coming in," because he's just a baby, right? Together they went on a North Pole adventure. They went whale watching, they built ice forts, they explored the Arctic Sea, and welcomed more visitors. Look, it's Penguin's friends. They're all in a hot air balloon. And remember, the biggest basket he'd ever seen, and the longest rope, and the biggest quilt. And they said, oh, let me see, Miss K missed that. They said, we missed you. We missed you. So they built that so they could go bring him back. Then it was time for the new friends to say goodbye. Penguin left Polar Bear his adventure map. He didn't need it anymore. What do you think? Do you think Polar Bear might go meet Penguin someday at the South Pole? He says, because the best part of having an adventure is, these birds are saying, I didn't know penguins could fly. Well, they can't fly, can they? But they can in a hot air balloon or an airplane. I think probably an airplane or a ship is how they get to other places, like to be in zoos and stuff. And it says, the best part of having an adventure is coming home. And look, all the little penguins are welcoming him home. That is a beautiful hot air balloon. I hope you enjoyed that book, Penguin's Big Adventure.